Men need to be appreciated. That sounds obvious until you notice how rarely it is said plainly. A great many men go through life with the strange, sour feeling that they are expected to do difficult things without ever needing warmth in return. They are expected to provide, protect, endure, fix, carry, absorb, and remain steady. Fine. Many men accept that. Many even prefer it. The trouble begins when all of that labor is treated as normal in the worst sense of the word. Not noble, not admirable, merely expected. And what is merely expected is rarely appreciated. That is where the bitterness starts. A man can carry a great deal of weight if he knows it matters. He can work ugly hours, endure humiliation, silence his own disappointments, and keep moving through years that feel like a gravel road in bad boots. Men have done this for centuries. They still do. The problem is not burden alone. The problem is burden paired with indifference. That combination poisons the soul. When a man feels needed but not appreciated, he begins to feel less like a person and more like a utility, a thing, a machine with a wallet, a back with hands attached, a disposable engine that should be grateful for the chance to overheat, in service of people who barely notice him unless he fails. And that feeling changes a man. It does not always make him dramatic. Usually it makes him quiet. That is worse in a way. A dramatic man can be seen. A quiet man can disappear while still standing in the room. He keeps doing what is required. He pays the bill. He drives the car. He fixes the leak. He answers the call. He gets up early. He stays late. He acts like none of it costs him anything. The people around him start to believe him. After a while, he starts helping them believe it too. Then one day, he becomes hollow. People are often shocked when this happens. They say he changed. They say he became distant. They say he is less affectionate, less hopeful, less alive. As if a man can be treated like a rented mule for 10 years and still sparkle on command like a birthday clown. Men need appreciation because appreciation tells a man that his sacrifices are visible. That matters more than many people understand. A man can endure hardship. Men are built for hardship. What they cannot bear forever is the suspicion that their hardship passes unnoticed by the very people for whom they bear it. There is something uniquely painful about suffering in silence, only to find that the silence has been mistaken for ease. A calm face creates its own trap. If a man does not complain, people assume he does not hurt. If he performs competence, they assume effort was never required. If he remains steady, they assume steadiness is free. It is not free. Everything steady in this world is paid for by something. The roof stays up because someone held the beams. The house stays warm because someone kept feeding the fire. The family remains calm because someone stood between it and panic. Very often, that someone is a man whose labor has become so familiar that it no longer registers as labor at all. This is one reason men become so attached to respect. Respect is not a decorative little ribbon. It is the social form of recognition. It tells a man that his efforts count, that his burden has shape, that his place is real, that he is not merely being consumed by the needs of others like firewood in a stove. A man who is respected can endure a lean season. A man who is useful but unappreciated begins to rot. That rot shows up in ugly places: irritability, withdrawal, secret resentments, strange fatigue, addictions, obsessions, emotional flatness, a deadened face, a sharp tone over small things, a craving for status, praise, or applause from foolish places because he cannot find honor where it ought to exist. Some chase it at work. Some chase it online. Some chase it through politics, gyms, hobbies, or pointless arguments that give them the one thing home does not: acknowledgement. The modern world makes this worse because it is very good at extracting male labor while mocking the male need for esteem. That is quite a trick. Men are told to work hard, man up, stop whining, and take responsibility. Then, if they admit they want gratitude, they are treated as needy. The culture loves male output and distrusts male hunger. It is comfortable with the man as instrument, uneasy with the man as soul. They are expected to be self-sacrificing in practice and self-erasing in spirit. Give more, need less, produce steadily, ask for nothing, smile politely, die quietly. It is a miserable bargain dressed up as maturity, and many men accept it because they have been taught that appreciation is somehow unmanly to desire. That is a lie. A man does not become weak because he wants his wife to notice his effort. He does not become childish because he wants his children to admire him. He does not become petty because he wants loyalty from friends or honor from a community he has served. These are normal human desires, and in men, they often take a more severe form because men are asked to live more transactionally than women. A woman may more easily receive emotional reassurance, as a matter of course. A man often receives warmth conditionally, after performance. That creates a hard edge in him. He learns that love is often downstream from usefulness. He learns that failure is punished quickly. He learns that his inner life interests very few people unless it begins interfering with his outer functions. And then people wonder why men become guarded. Well, yes, a dog kicked often enough ceases to dance at the sound of footsteps. This is why appreciation has such power over men. A few sincere words can reach places in a man that years of ordinary comfort never touch. Tell a man that you see what he carries, and you may steady him for months. Tell him that his strength has blessed your life, and you may restore a part of him he had nearly buried. Thank him plainly, without irony or manipulation, and you may remind him that he is more than a tool. Men are not always starving for affection, in the sentimental sense. Many are starving for recognition, slightly different hunger, same ache in the stomach. There is also a civilizational side to this. Societies depend on male sacrifice. They always have. Men build roads, patrol borders, lay pipe, lift steel, run into burning places, keep engines alive, absorb violence, and shoulder 1,000 dull responsibilities that keep ordinary life from sliding into filth and panic. This is not romantic fantasy. It is plain fact. Civilization rests in part on male willingness to do hard, thankless, dangerous things. So what happens when a society teaches men that gratitude is outdated? The answer is simple. The men keep working for a while. Then their spirit goes missing. After that, standards fall. Loyalty weakens. Birth rates sink. Marriages grow colder. Public life becomes more brittle. Men still exist, of course, but they become disengaged. They stop offering the extra effort that once came from love, pride, duty, and honor. They do the minimum, or they disappear into private amusements. A man who feels unappreciated eventually asks a deadly question. Why am I straining for people who would barely notice if I stopped? That question has wrecked more homes, churches, and nations than many speeches on policy ever will. Now, appreciation does not mean flattery. Men can smell flattery the way a barn cat smells rain. Appreciation that is fake, manipulative, or strategic makes things worse. A man knows when praise is being used as a leash. He knows when somebody wants something. He knows when the compliment has the texture of a sales pitch. That sort of appreciation feels oily. It repels. Real appreciation is clean. It names what is true. You worked hard. You stayed when it would have been easier to leave. You held this family together when things were bad. You made us feel safe. You took the hit without making a theater of it. You kept going. I see it. Thank you. Those words are small. Their effect is not. Many men are living on emotional rations so thin that a little honest gratitude hits them like sunlight in a cellar. This also explains why male friendship matters so much. Men appreciate each other differently from women, usually with less ceremony. A joke, a nod, a hand on the shoulder, a brief sentence that says, in effect, "I know what you did there, good man." That can sustain a man in ways outsiders do not always grasp. Male appreciation is often sparse, but it lands like a hammer on a tent stake, clean, solid, enough to hold. The tragedy is that many modern men do not get even that. They have no circle of brothers, no father who praises them, no wife who admires them, no church that honors them, no workplace that respects them beyond quarterly output. They are surrounded by systems that use them. So they drift through life with the low fever of an unloved workhorse, functional, necessary, half forgotten. That is no way to live, and it is no way to keep good men good. Because appreciation does more than comfort men, it guides them. A man becomes what is honored. If vulgarity is praised, he leans vulgar. If wealth alone is admired, he leans greedy. If domination is glorified, he leans cruel. But if steadiness, sacrifice, honesty, craftsmanship, fatherhood, courage, and self-command are genuinely appreciated, many men will rise toward those things. Men want standards. They also want those standards noticed when embodied. That is not vanity. It is how moral formation works in social life. Praise the right thing, and you build the right man. Ignore the right thing, and sooner or later, the wrong men take the stage. So yes, men need to be appreciated, not because men are fragile flowers drooping in a decorative vase, not because every mundane act deserves a parade, not because masculine duty should be traded for applause, like a child demanding candy after cleaning his room. Men need appreciation because men are human, because sacrifice without recognition curdles into despair, because a man who is seen becomes stronger, and a man who is unseen begins to wonder whether strength is worth the cost. And because, in the end, appreciation is one of the ways love becomes visible. Not abstract love, not slogan love, not the sort of love people announce in public and forget in private. Real love, the kind that notices, the kind that remembers who held the line, the kind that says with simple seriousness, "I know what you have done for us. It mattered. You mattered." A great many men could survive on those words longer than you think. A great many have gone without them longer than they should. And a society that wants better men should begin there. I know what you have done for us. It mattered. You mattered. Thank you.